What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back, yes, to another Wednesday pull list, which is your hype video for a new comic book day. The new comic book day this week is Wednesday, May 8th of 2024. And guys, I'm recording this video on Monday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, no, on Monday, May 6th. I'm so excited that I got all my books out of the way and I get to record this and hopefully get this fully edited on Monday, which would be absolutely fantastic. Get this video out a little early since my last 2 weeks were a little late to you guys. But if you guys are new to the Wednesday pull list, let me give you a little insight into what this video is all about. It's just to get you pumped and excited for new comic book day. I'm going to talk about all my favorite reads of the week, the best covers coming out this week, and then I'm going to give you a full roundup of every single book on my pull list in the not top 3, but the books you gotta see. And that's really what this video is all about, just getting you really excited for new comic book day. All right, guys, that's enough of me. So let's go ahead and check out my pull list. Now, as you guys can see, we have another gigantic pull week because this right here is one side of my ultra wide monitor and this is the other, and it covers almost the whole entire thing. This is a gigantic pull list, but you guys can't see what these tiny pictures are, so let me go and throw them up on screen right now. Guys, there are a total of 23 books on my pull list, and guys, that's out of 96 total books if you count second prints and facsimiles coming out this week on New Comic Book Day. That's about 1/4 of the total books I am pulling this week, which is, you know, nuts. I gotta stop this. But guys, of those 23, there are 4 new number ones, and if you break it down a little bit further, there are 5 DC books, 4 Marvel books, and 14 indie comics. Guys, I am so in love with indie comics right now. There are so many amazing stories coming out month after month and week after week. You gotta be reading indies. Now, I read all the previous issues except for one. That's right, one. I couldn't find the next issue of Gone in my stack of what are they called? Prestige size format books, so I did not read the previous issue of that, so that book will not be on the top 3 list, but the rest of the books that you see on screen right now can be on the top 3 list. All right, guys, there is no chopping block this week, so we can dive right into my cover lover picks. All right, guys, I found 11 amazing covers coming out on this week's New Comic Day that I just had to share with you guys. Now, just a quick reminder, I'm not picking up all of these. That's too much for me to pick up all these covers and then all the books that I'm actually reading, but I'll call out the ones that I am picking up. All right, guys, first up is Batman issue number 147, the cover B variant done by Jorge Jimenez. I am picking up, I think, 3 copies of this because I want to make sure I get a 9.8 candidate because they've done, I think, 3 or 4 of these types of covers. We've had Batman and Catwoman, Batgirl and Nightwing, I think Superman and Lois Lane, and now we get Punchline in the Joker. These covers are absolutely amazing. I love them so much, and I'm a huge fan of Jorge Jimenez, like huge. He's just amazing. All right, guys, next up we have 1, 2, 3 covers, all for Wolverine issue number 49. The first one up is the black costume variant done by David Nakayama. It's a Nakayama on Wolverine, and Wolverine looks absolutely epic on this cover. I love it. And then, guys, this is open order, so this should be easy for anyone to pick up if they really like the artwork. Now, guys, next up is the 1:25 ratio variant done by Mumad Asar. I am sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but I love your artwork. Almost every single cover that you're putting out recently, I am picking up because I'm just loving it so much, and this one featuring Wolverine is really freaking good. I'm definitely going to see if my comic shop is going to sell this for under $25. Hopefully around that $12 range. If it's around that price, I'm most likely going to pick it up because I think this is so freaking good. Now, guys, next up is an exclusive variant. This is Wolverine issue number 49, the Unknown Comics variant and Virgin variant done by David Nakayama. Now, quick story. My good friend Z Che over on the Discord channel ended up picking this up for full price, and then a week later, Unknown Comics did like a 50 or 60% discount sale, and they had this book on the sale, which is a brand new book, which is absolutely crazy. I felt so bad, but this cover is absolutely amazing. This is a great David Nakayama featuring Laura Kinney. Now, guys, the next 2 covers up are a connecting cover set, but you have to pick up 2 separate books to get them, and they're both exclusive covers. The first one up is Transformers issue number 8, the Carnivore Comics exclusive done by Gabriel Del Otto. It's absolutely amazing. You got Optimus Prime on the cover, but you do see like this little gun over in the corner, and that's where the other cover comes in. That is Energon Universe Special Special 2024, issue number 1, the Carnivore Comics exclusive cover done by Gabriel Del Otto featuring Megatron. So we got Optimus Prime and Megatron, and you put them together, they make this awesome picture. It's so freaking good. Now, this isn't exclusive, so you gotta pay, I forgot what the price is. I'll put it up on screen right now for each one, but this is an awesome connecting cover set. It's really freaking good. Now, guys, there is one other cover for Energon Universe Special 2024, issue number 1, that it's also a exclusive cover, and this cover is really good in my opinion. This is the Encased Comics exclusive done by Alessandro Micheli. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. I think I got that right, guys. Let me know down in the comments below if I did. But this also features Megatron, but this is a great Megatron depiction. It is so freaking good. But let's move on. Next up is Avengers issue number 14 with the variant cover done by Chris Bachalo. I really like this cover. We got the female version of Hawkeye. I forgot what her name is off the top of my head. And all these arrows are flying at her while she's going to shoot like this special arrow. So freaking good. The guys, next up is another exclusive cover. This is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, issue number 6. I'm sadly not reading this. I think I have like 3 or 4 of the issues in my long box or in a one of my cover lever picks or spec boxes or whatever, because I got the second prints, third prints, and all those because speculation and whatnot. But guys, this cover from Final Order Comics, which is like I said, an exclusive cover done by Andrew Kadaima. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. Is really freaking cool. It's such a great cover. You got all these elements from what the murderer is probably using inside this book. It is such a cool cover. Now, guys, next up is Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin, issue number 2, the 1:25 ratio variant done by Julian Tatino Tedesco, featuring what looks like a Red Hulk or something breaking out of a window, and you got Spider-Man snapping a picture of him. So good. So good. Tedesco is like fire. Almost every cover that guy puts out is so good. All right, guys, 2 more covers. Next up is Giant Size X-Men issue number 1 with the 1:25 ratio variant done by Phil Noto. It's great. We got Archangel, Angel on the cover, the 2 personalities of this character. It's so freaking good. Or not personalities, like, 2 depictions. There's one when he had his wings, and then after he lost his wings, and he gets the big metal ones, which is the really epic version. But guys, the final cover that I want to show you guys is Web of Spider-Man, issue number 1, the second print variant done by Ryan Brown, featuring like this epic depiction of the Green Goblin, or the first Green Goblin. So cool. So cool. Such a great cover. But guys, those are all the amazing covers that I found coming out this week on New Comic Book Day. And if you like any of them, guys, let me know down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and move over right to the next section, which is the new number 1 that I think you guys have to be excited about. Now, before we get into that new number 1, I'm just going to ask you guys, have you guys hit that like button just yet? If you haven't, do me a favor and smash that like button, or drag your mouse over it and just click it maybe. One of the 2. Smash it, click it, whatever you gotta do, please hit that button because it really helps this channel out so much, and especially this video series. So guys, hit the like button and let's go ahead and check out that new number 1. There are 4 new number 1 books on my pull list this week, and I picked out the one that I am most excited about, and it is coming from the creative team of Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Now guys, I am talking about the book Ain't No Grave, issue number 1. Now, like I said, this is coming from the creative team of Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Scotty Young is actually on the writing, and Jorge Corona is on the art. Now, if you've never read anything from them in the past, you guys are missing out. Jorge Corona and Scotty Young together are such a great team of storytellers. Now, this also has colors by Jean-Francois Belot and letters by Nate Picos. Now, let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book because it's pretty good. Eisner Award-winning writer Scotty Young and Eisner Award-nominated artist Jorge Corona, the team behind the hit series Middle West and the Me You Love in the Dark, are back together again with an all-new miniseries, Ain't No Grave. This unforgiving style journey is an original macabre Western fantasy tale for mature readers, told through a Guillermo del Toro-esque lens. Ryder put her violent past behind her when she fell in love and became a mother. But that was before she learned it was all going to be taken away. Now she'll have to pick up her guns once again and ride to kill the one who's behind this threat, which just happens to be death. That's right, we're getting a Western macabre fantasy tale featuring a mother who is about to have her love and baby taken away, but she's not gonna let that happen. No, she's gonna go fight death right to the face, and it's gonna be so good. I love Hori Corona. If you guys are not reading Transformers, he just took over as the main artist on that book, and the first issue by him was absolutely fantastic. And everything he seems to get his hands on, he just does such a great job of storytelling. It's so good. And Scotty Young is one awesome storyteller. I really like everything he gets his hands on, so I'm really excited for this book. There's only 2 covers for it. There's the cover A done by Hori Corona, which will be up on screen right now, and there is a store exclusive from ScottyYoung.com, which is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm definitely sticking with the cover A, but guys, let me know what you think of this book down in the comments below. Is this a book that was on your pull list already because you saw the creative team of Scotty Young and Hori Corona was like, I just have to have it? Because that's what I did. Or are you putting it on your list now that I've told you about it? Guys, let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which are the top 3 books that I think you guys have to be reading this week because the stories are so freaking good. Guys, this week it was really easy for me to pick the number 1 book and the number 2 book, but there were so many books vying for the number 3 position. It actually took me a while to figure out what book was going to be in this spot. And after looking through all the books that I read a few more times, I landed on Transformers issue number 8. Now, this is coming from the writer of Daniel Warren Johnson, one of the best storytellers in the game right now. Has art by Hori Corona, an absolute banger of an artist, and he adds so much to this book. Obviously, I love the art of Daniel Warren Johnson. He's like one of my favorite artists, but Hori Corona is like so great at doing Transformers. It's so cool to see him on this book. This also has colors by Mike Spicer and letters by Russ Wooten. Now, why I picked Transformers over all the other books on my pull list this week for the number 3 book is that this book just hits home with nostalgia. I was such a gigantic Transformer fan when I was a kid, and this series is so good at bringing back all those feelings and emotions and reminding me why I love these characters in the world of Cybertron. This is such a great series. Now, what I really liked about issue number 7 is that we got little flashbacks to RC's beginning on Cybertron and the whole trauma that she went through of the gigantic war that was happening there. And she has this whole moment with the character of Carly, which is one of the 2 humans which we're really focusing on in this story. We have Spike, and then Carly is his best friend. And her father was killed by Starscream, which is a total spoiler. I probably should have said that. But she's having a really tough time dealing with that, and RC has this really great moment with her. But another huge part in issue number 7 was the Decepticons are fighting for a leader. And Starscream, when we first started the series, was the leader, but now Soundwave doesn't think he's doing a good job, which he's not, and they had this epic battle in the scene. I'm not going to tell you who came out on top, but I'm sure a lot of you can guess who did, and that was a great moment. But then there was this huge sacrifice back in, I believe, issue number 6, which really started to set its roots and its ramifications at the end of issue number 7. There's a really cool moment. I really enjoyed that. This is just, it has lots of different levels of storytelling in this book, and it's so good. And it's just dealing with the Transformers, guys. It's like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. You guys have to be reading this book. You really do. There are a lot of covers for this book. I'm only going to show you guys the non-exclusive because I think there's like 4 or 5 exclusives. The cover B is pretty good. The 1 in 10 is really great by Karen S. Darbo, I want to say. And then there is a 1 in 25 by Ethan Young, which is okay. And the 1 in 50, I don't really care for at all. I would definitely pick up the cover B or that 1 in 10. They are both fantastic, but so is the cover A, obviously. All right, guys, that is the number 3 book. Let's go ahead and find out what my number 2 is. All right, guys, the book that's in the number 2 spot is Deadpool issue number 2. Now, this is coming from the writer of Cody Ziegler, art by Rogue Antonio, colors by Guru FX, and letterer Joe Sabanino. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. But guys, this was a huge surprise to me because I was definitely a little pessimistic thinking that this book was going to be good or not because I'm not a gigantic fan of Cody Ziegler. I enjoy his Miles Morales Spider-Man run, but I don't absolutely love it, but there's good issues and bad issues. But the first issue of Deadpool was a ton of fun. Now, one thing I will say, you definitely feel like you're missing out on a little bit of story because all of a sudden Deadpool now is running around with a Carnage type dog. It's like a symbiote dog that can speak to him. And where did this come from? I did start to read the previous run, which they were introducing some symbiote craziness, and I'm guessing it's spinning getting out of that. So I feel a little behind on that, but just know that Deadpool now has a dog that's a gigantic red symbiote that eats lots of humans, like lots of humans. Obviously this is a Deadpool book, so there's death everywhere, but I think that's important to know that it is definitely carrying over story elements from the previous run, which is cool. But what I really enjoyed about this run was not the new villain, which is called Death Grip, which is fine, that was cool, but at the end of this book, we get this whole moment between Deadpool and his daughter. And if you didn't know, Deadpool does have a daughter, and they have definitely a unique relationship because Deadpool wants to be part of her life, but knows that with his current lifestyle that he can have nothing to do with her if he wants her to have somewhat of a normal childhood and upbringing. And the person that is bringing her up are the Prestons, and if you don't know who the Prestons are, you need to go back and read the Deadpool run where we get introduced to the Prestons, because they are absolutely amazing characters. They are so good. And I don't want to ruin anything because you should 100% go back and read that run. That's like my favorite Deadpool run of all time. There's so many good elements in that. But guys, that moment between his daughter and him was epic. It was so good. Definitely sunk its teeth into me and was like, you're gonna enjoy this book, especially if they keep coming back to it. And it was so good. So good. Like father-daughter moment. It was just like so heartwarming knowing that Deadpool does have like this big gooey heart and just loves his daughter so much. And it was awesome. It was really freaking cool. And that was the moment where I was like, you know what? I think this run is going to be really good if we get these little elements moving forward. And it was awesome. Now, there are some other cool elements. The fighting was good. The art was good. The jokes were good. And yeah, Deadpool has like this like missing part of him because emotionally, not physically, emotionally, because he just got dumped again. He is getting dumped over and over again. This guy cannot have a girlfriend or wife for a long time. It's just like he's that type of character. So he feels like a little lonely and he needs to fill this void with him with killing lots of people and taking mercenary or taking jobs of assassinations, you know? So that is that. But that little moment with his daughter was so good. So good. So good artwork, decent story, great ending. Definitely sung its teeth into me. So definitely check out Deadpool issue #1 from Cody Ziegler and Rogue Antonio. It was really good. It was an excellent book, and that is why it's in the #2 spot. But guys, that's enough about Deadpool. Let's go ahead and move over to the #1 book that I'm most excited to pick up this week because I think it's gonna be the best freaking story. All right, guys, the book that's in the #1 spot, the book that I think is gonna be the best read this week is Monsters Are My Business, issue #2. Now, this is coming from the writer of Cullen Bunn, art by Patrick, a name I cannot pronounce, it's up on screen, colorist Marco Bracco, and letterer Jim Campbell. Now, guys, this book took me by surprise. It was a book I was excited about after reading the synopsis for issue #1, but after reading issue #1, it was so good. Now, if you guys have not joined the Discord, there's a link down in the description. Make sure you guys are joining it because immediately after reading this book, I messaged the Discord group and I was like, guys, you have to be reading this book. It was so much fun. Now, this book is definitely lighthearted. It's a lot of fun. It's action-packed. It's bloody. It's gory, but doesn't take itself seriously at all. We have three main characters. We have Grizz, which is like this Viking type dude, but he's more of like a biker than a Viking. But he definitely has like a giant beard. He wears a backwards cap. He's really cool. And then there is Cuddles, which is a chainsaw wielding koala bear, which is so freaking cool. And Cuddles and Grizz are like inseparable, basically. And then there's this other character, Hillary, which is a necromancer. And this necromancer has promised Grizz's soul to a demon once he dies. But she wants to keep him around because she has some ulterior motives that she wants him to do before he gives up his soul. So those are our three main characters. They're all working together in this little business. But to give you guys a broader scope of what this story is, basically the 1%ers have basically destroyed the planet by opening up portals to dimensions of evil, and these dimensions have like come to Earth and they're like decimated everything. There's like acid rain and pools of lava and just like all kinds of bad monsters everywhere. And there's little pockets of humanity still left around the world, and they all are like surviving by like, you know, basically fighting monsters, killing monsters. And that's where our little trio comes in. Their whole get up is protecting this little town, and people come in and pay them to go kill monsters or find people that have been taken by monsters. And that's pretty much what our story is. There's a lot more to it because we're going to go back to that 1%ers, and they're still around. They're still doing evil all around the world. And Grizz gets a contract to go find someone. It's actually from the 1%ers, and he doesn't want to take it, but he needs the money. So he goes and takes it, and that's where the story starts to evolve. It's so good. It's so good. It's like so much fun. Cullen Bunn is usually a little more dark and twisted. It's so good seeing him tell this really fun, engaging monster story, because it's still all about monsters, and it's just amazing. Now, the art by Patrick, a name I cannot pronounce, is fantastic. It's so good. If I can't find any images online, I'll take some with my phone so that way I can show it to you guys. It just elevates the lightheartedness of this story and the fun and the action. It was so good. So good. The character development that Cullen Bunn does for Grizz, Cuddles, and Hillary was really great. The villains in it are awesome. The 1%ers, and I don't know. He definitely built some levels in this story in issue number 1 that were fantastic. I don't know how many issues are going to be in this series. I really hope this is like going to be like maybe an ongoing, because that would be so good. If he has like this long-term storytelling idea that he wants to get to, but if not, this most likely will probably be a 6-issue mini, but I hope it isn't. I hope it's like a longer series. Even a maxi would be great, a 12-issue maxi. But guys, this is definitely the number 1 book that I'm most excited to read this week over everything else that we're going to talk about on the Not Top 3, but the books you got to see, which we're going to do right now. All right, guys, with 23 books on my pull list, let's go ahead and figure out how many books we're about to cover. We take off 4 for all the new number 1s. That brings us down to 19. And then we minus 1 for the book I did not read. Now we're at 18. And then you minus the 3 for the top 3 books. Now we're down to 15. So we have 15 books to cover as quickly as possible. So first up is The Avengers, issue number 14. Issues number 12 and 13 were absolutely fantastic. But now we're getting sucked into the tie-in of Blood Hunt. And I find that some stories, as they're moving along and a tie-in comes in and like screws up the mojo, they can't get their footing again. And I feel like this book was finally hitting its stride and getting its footing. So hopefully Blood Hunt does not throw it off from that, because Avengers was finally good again. Now this is written by Jed MacKay, so hopefully it doesn't mess him up. Now next up is Batman issue number 147. Again, I feel the same thing with this. It's finally hitting its stride. Now one cool thing I do want to talk about is that this is written by Chip Zdarsky, and he wrote a short miniseries called The Batman the Knight last year. It was really good. I really enjoyed that, but I thought that was just like a throwaway series, but it's not, because everything that he did in that book is like coming to fruition in this book. So if you haven't read that and you're kind of lost where all these new characters are coming from, definitely go check out that series, because they're not new. They're actually from that series. And it's just so great to see that series was not a throwaway series. Now guys, next up is Birds of Prey issue number 9. Issues number 7, 8 were really good, because issues number 5 and 6 I really didn't like all that much. So we're getting back into a really good pace of storytelling, and it's just really fun seeing this like group of amazing female characters kick some freaking ass. And the last 2 issues on the Birds of Prey were like infiltrating a fashion show, so they were in some really cool like outfits, and yeah, it was great. The artwork has been really freaking good. Now guys, next up is Boy Wonder issue number 1. Now this is a new number 1 from a writer I do not know, but it's a story about Damian Wayne, my favorite Robin, so I have to read it, and I'm really excited about it. And this is going to focus on all the Robins actually, but the main character is going to be Damian Wayne. Now guys, next up is Crocodile Black issue number 1. Now the reason why I'm picking this up is because it's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. That's all I really know. I saw the name and I was like, all right, I'll put it on my list. I'm picking up the first 3 and we'll see how good it is. Next up, Daredevil issue number 9. Issue number 8 was good, like really good. If you didn't know, Daredevil is fighting the 7 deadly sins. I think he's fought 4 so far, so he's got 3 more to go, and those stories are okay. They're not great, but in this last one, no sins. It was just Daredevil and Elektra fighting some bad guys. Epic. Art by Aaron Cooter was so good. So it's good to see that series, like, finding its stride again, but I know we're going to get sucked in because he's going to fight all 7 deadly sins. But hopefully that story, turns out to be better than what it's been so far. Next up, The Deviant, issue number 5. James Tynion IV telling some horrific tale about this murderer who kills gay men. And, this series started off really good, and the last few issues have been okay, but they've been delayed a little bit, I feel. Because I feel like the last issue came out like months ago. But the story is good. I just don't love it, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it enough to chop it. So it's a good horror story. It definitely has some great elements to it. So, and it's also set in the real world. There's no like monsters or anything. There's just like a serial killer out there killing people, which can be scary in itself. And guys, next up is Doctor Strange, issue number 15, another book written by Jed MacKay. I will say the last 2 issues were not good. I did not enjoy them, like even a little bit. But I think they were set up for something else. So I'm hoping the story is going to get back to being absolutely amazing, because the story before that were really good. And one of the coolest characters, Bats, the ghost dog, is stuck in a different dimension. I think the last 2 issues were setting up a character to also get stuck in that dimension, which is how we're going to get Bats out. But you know what? Do better with your setup stories. Do better, Jed MacKay. All right, guys, next up is Energon Universe Special 2024, issue number 1. I'm picking it up because it's the Energon Universe. I pick up everything Energon Universe. I'm not sure if I'm excited for this or not, but I'm picking it up. Hopefully there's something in there that I actually want to read. After that is Geiger, issue number 2. The first new issue of Geiger in like a year or something was good. Not great, but good. It has art by Gary Frank. It's that in itself is worth picking it up, but the story is still chugging along really well. After that is Gone, issue number 3. This is the book. I did not read the previous issue 2. I don't know where issue number 2 is. I looked all over my house and I can't find it. So maybe I didn't pre-order it, which means I got to order that, and then I'll get issue number 3. I'll read them together. It'll be like a match made in heaven. 2 and 3 together, which will make 4 even better. Now, guys, after that is Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 31. This is the first issue ever I read of Gunslinger Spawn, even though I have the other issues, like all of them, down in the basement, all cataloged and ready to go. But you know what? I'm not going to read 30 issues of something. I'm just going to read the one and get stuck in. And I really enjoyed it. Issue number 30 was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was just, I can't synopsize an issue in the not top 3, but it was good. The story was great, and the artwork was fantastic. After that, Masterpiece, issue number 5. This was one of the books that almost made the top 3 list in that number 3 spot. This book by Brian Michael Bendis and Akmal Leave is so good. It is so good. Think Ocean's 11, but like crazier. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and especially because it's dealing with a kid having to deal with her parents' past, who were these master thieves, and they screwed over someone who's super duper rich, and that super duper rich person is coming to mess with her, and now she's like collecting a team of people to go back and fight against him. It's really good. Guys, after that is Morning Star, issue number 2. This is written by my friends Tim Daniel and David Andre. Issue number 1 was absolutely fantastic. This is one of the other books that almost made that number 3 spot. This is a book that you have to be reading. David Andre is such a great writer, and Tim Daniel is coming in to help him write so many stories, and this story was really freaking good. And the next book up is The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, issue number 9. I did enjoy issues number 7 and 8. They were telling the whole backstory of Frankenstein, and they didn't really change that much from the original telling of it. So I feel like I just reread the story of Frankenstein, which is weird, but hopefully in issue number 9, we're getting the characters of Christopher Chaos and Vampire Boy, and I forgot the other girl's name, back, because they were the cool characters that I really enjoy. And after that is Poison Ivy, issue number 22. This is one of the other books that almost made the top 3 list because the story is so good. It's so good. This was the final issue of the retelling of the origin story of Pamela Isley turning into Poison Ivy. It was really good. Really good. Very well done, G. Willow Wilson, because that story was awesome. After that is The Sacrificers, issue number 8. Must read. You have to be reading this book. This book is so good. Another book that could have made that number 3 spot. It was a great story featuring the one character who is a god that had her godlike powers taken from her, and it was so good to see this character's journey. Really fun. After that is The Scorched, issue number 29. I read issue number 28. It's the only issue of Scorched I read. And again, a lot of fun, and the artwork was fantastic. I'm so surprised that these Spawn books are actually good, because for a while when I was reading them, I didn't enjoy them, but now I am. A lot of fun. After that, Shazam, issue number 11. Palette cleanser book, guys. This book is just a lot of fun. It's kid-friendly, and it's fun. And I really enjoy the characters of Shazam and the Shazam family, and this book continues to be a super fun read. Alright guys, that is the not top 3, but the books you're gonna see. And now we can wrap this video up and find out who won last week's giveaway. Alright guys, before we find out who won last week's giveaway, I just gotta thank every single one of you who have watched from the beginning of the video until this point in the video right now. You guys are legends, like the true legends. You guys support the channel so much. Now, guys, look down real quick. If you guys have not hit that like button just yet, do me a favor and hit that like button. Now, if you guys watch that video and you guys enjoy comic book content and you guys are not subscribed, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. All right, guys, let's go ahead and cut up close and find out who won last week's giveaway. Alright guys, you know how we do this. We find last week's video and then we go ahead and click on it. We go ahead and hit pause because you guys don't want to hear me talk. But let's go ahead and copy the URL and then we're going to paste that URL right here and then we're going to hit fetch. Not anything goes, no. We use a keyword filter and that keyword filter is always hashtag I love comic books. Now let's find out how many people had an entry into this week's video, and there are 50 of you guys, so 50 entries into this week's giveaway. Let's go ahead and find out who won last week's giveaway in 3, 2, 1, and it was Paul's Collectibles 42, and he left the comment, Blood Hunt was surprisingly good. Hashtag I love comic books. Paul's Collectibles, congratulations, you won last week's giveaway. Now, what I need you to do is to go over to Instagram and slide it into our DMs. Our handle is right here, and give us your address, and I will get your winnings shipped out to you in 3 to 4, maybe 5 weeks. And yeah, that's all I need from you to get these giveaways out to you. Now, if you've won a giveaway in the last 5 to 6 weeks, I actually have 5 giveaways packed up and ready to go. I'm going to ship them out right after I finish this video. So if you guys are waiting on books, they are going to be to you in, I would say, 4 to 5 days. I'm going to use media mail, so they will take a little bit longer through the mail, but guys, they are coming. I apologize for these giveaways taking so long to get out of my hands. Now, if you guys are interested in entering next week's giveaway, you need to do these 4 things. Number 1, you need to live in the United States of America. Number 2, you need to be subscribed to the channel. Number 3, you need to leave a comment on this video right here. And number 4, that comment needs to have the hashtag I love comic books. And that's all you need to do to get an entry into this week's giveaway. All right, guys, have yourself a great new comic book day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.